A background check for $1. Is it possible to do a background check for $1? In this video, we're going to talk about the options the public has to do a background check for very little amount of money, and this can be done direct at the state level. It's not always going to be just $1. Sometimes it could be free, sometimes it's a little bit more. If you go to sheriffsdepartment.net, you can have access to all these resources, and I'm just going to show you an example. I'm gonna go work with the state of Georgia, and pretty much all the states have a very similar process, except for a few states might make it a little bit more difficult. So here we go. I'm on Georgia page, and you do have an option to do a first and last name instant check. It will give you instant access to a little bit of information, and if you choose to go on and purchase more, you have the option to do that. And it does cover certain databases that the public records will not cover sometimes, like social media and phone numbers and things like that. And it does look at more of like a national level type of a check. So I like to use both. It's probably going to give you the biggest advantage, and to make sure nothing is missed. And then once I figure out, once I get the big image of somebody's background records, their previous addresses, and I really want to zoom in on something particular, like a particular state, particular county, or maybe even a particular record, I'll go directly to the state. And so this is what the state has to offer. You have your essentials when it comes to background checks: court records, you can check the recorder's office, criminal records, driving records, business lookup, sexual offender registry, and you also have options at the county level, and we'll cover the most populous counties. Again, you have access to court records, recorder's office, jail records like arrests, mugshots, property records, things like that. Most of these things can be looked at for free, so it's not even $1. And some of the more crucial ones, for instance, to do a statewide check, Georgia felon search. So this will give you criminal records coming just out of the state of Georgia, and it's $15 in this case. A lot of states have their own prices set. It's not too bad. It's not $1, but this is direct from the state, and it's a very reasonable price to pay. It is limited to a single state, so just a heads up there. Sometimes you might want people do move around, so if you know where people have lived previously, you could just run a background check in that state specifically, or add on some kind of a national option if that's available. You also have you also want to check court records. Court records will include things like civil and criminal information. So anytime somebody gets arrested, goes to court, even the criminal records that you might have to pay for could be located via court records. So it does require a little bit more work to look for these things, but at times you could do it for free, particularly if you're doing it at the county level. Just as an example here, with the most populous state in Georgia here, all you got to do is just enter a last name and a first name, and you just click submit, and it'll pull up information regarding that person. So what else do we need to check? Sexual offender registry. Most states, well, all states have a statewide database. Sometimes you can also do it at the county level, like a local sheriff's department will have their own database. This could be looked at for free. Another thing you might want to check is the recorder's office. At times you could check driving history. Like for instance, the state of Georgia offers a free driver's license status check. And let's actually take a look at the court records again really quick here for Georgia. There's one thing to keep in mind. So if you're looking for a particular, if you're interested in particular court type, a particular, let's say you're looking for civil records only, or if you're looking for lower level crimes like misdemeanors or civil actions under 15,000, or if you are looking for felonies, which are a higher level of a crime, you want to make sure you have the right databases. So each state has its own court setup. If you really want to dig deep into somebody's criminal profile, you could do that via court records, and a lot of times the access to these records through the county or sometimes even through the state level is going to be free, so it's even better than paying $1. But at times it does require research, it does require time, and if you don't have a lot of that, if you might just want to pay up. There's not going to be a very solid option out there for $1. But you do have certain options directly from the state that are very reasonable and sometimes free. So I'll drop a link in the description, or you can just type sheriffsdepartment.net in your browser and head over here and start your search.